I have an expression, granted it's one I just made up, and it goes something like this. Why finish a kit when you can start 6 more? Which is pretty much what I've done, or I'm about to do. As for things that are on the go at the moment, the little kinetic 1/48th scale T45 goshawk is now at least starting to look a bit like a goshawk. This little trainer is a fighter, and it has fought me every single step of the way. But this has to be ready for our November club meet, which we're actually having in October, because it's to be part of a group build for our table display at Scale Model World in Telford. Remember a while back we all built the little P40s, the Kitty Hawks, keeping with the Hawk theme. We're all now building 1/48th scale Hawk trainers in whatever variant. With the Kitty Hawks, remember it was the Airfix one, had to be the Airfix 1/72nd scale new tool Hawk, Kitty Hawk, or Warhawk, or whatever the hell you want to call it. This time round it just had to be a Hawk trainer in any variant, any kit, whatever, as long as it was 1/48th scale. So just for something a wee bit different, I did the Goshawk, the American version, which has the operated undercarriage and whatnot, just because. So that's on the go. Speaking of club group builds, our October group build is Amphibian. So I bravely, for me, made a start on the 1/48th Special Hobby Walrus Mark 1 that I got at Telford last year. And I tend to shy away from biplanes wherever possible. The rigging terrifies me. Even kits like wingnut wings, which I must admit I'm very intrigued in. I would like to have a go at one of them at some stage. And wingnuts have a reputation for a fit quality that is, you know, just up there. Max! I'll be the postman. Up there with the best, yes. But Special Hobby, on the other hand, being a short run manufacturer, and there's lots of resin in this, and it's been a challenge so far, and I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to manage this kit. It looks great. I mean, lots of resin and interior bits, the resin engine, there's a photo etch fret. Nice kit. If I can get it to look right though, that's going to be the tricky part. But you know what, this is why we do this, isn't it? But I've got until October the 1st now. It's just coming up to the end of August, so there is a possibility I might not actually manage that. Also on the go, those of you who follow me on Facebook will know this. Sometimes when you go to a model show and you see kits, it lights a little fire, or relights the fire as it were. And that kind of happened with me with an aeroplane that I suppose maybe means different things to different people, but being British, this aircraft has a place in our hearts. Probably because most of us built one first time round. First time we ever touched the model kit, it was probably one of these airplanes. So I mentioned that I had an itch to build a Spitfire, which I'm now scratching. Not in the scratch build way, but right. And I've gone for this one, the Airfix, because again, kind of had to be an Airfix as well. An Airfix Spitfire. Those two words just go together like Chevy and Chase. And so I'm going for the photo reconnaissance one. I've got myself an extra decal set, and they offer ones that have invasion stripes, and there's a Turkish Air Force one, so I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to do. But when I mentioned it on my Facebook page, a young gentleman by the name of Andrew Firth, also known by his other moniker Central Industrial Art Modelling, suggested a little group build. a very little group build. Now I tend not to do group builds for no other reason than I rarely can get the kit finished in time, and it kind of looks like I've maybe lost interest in it or something, which I haven't. That's just the way I build my models. So I tend to avoid group builds for that reason. But it's between myself, Andy, and Will Pattison, and we are all going to build the 148th. I think they're all Airfix Spitfires between now and the end of the year, so there's plenty of time. It's a new toolkit. It doesn't look like it's going to offer much in the way of problems. At least I hope not. So that's on the go, and we're powering through that one at the moment. In fact, I'm almost ready to put the fuselage together, and one of the things that I need before I do that is the Edward Superfabric seat harness, which may be in my mailbox. Okay, what else? Right, in addition to that, well, the Heracles is well, as you know, I'm building one of them out of the box, and it's kind of stalled. Well, not stalled, but I'm using it as a test bed to find out what fit issues I'm going to have when I come to doing the other one, as I said. But speaking of Facebook, a few months ago, Revell posted on their page that they were looking for someone to do tutorial videos for their Facebook page. Now, needless to say, I sent them a nice little email, but alas, ich kannst sprechen Deutsch, because they were looking for someone, A, who lived in Germany, and B, spoke German, because they wanted it for their German audience. However, I must have elicited some kind of interest in them. Out! Lost. Because they suggested that perhaps if they sent me some kits, let me think, that I could do videos, and they would post that on their Facebook page for all the sort of English-speaking people, which they have done so. They sent me their catalogue, and I was to select a small selection of kits, and then we would take it from there. So I've got 3 sitting here that they've sent me. They're also, because I mentioned that I quite like Star Wars, and I knew that they were doing Star Wars kits, they might be sending me some of their Force Awakens kits, which are snap together kits, but again, I'll do this thing like I'm eventually going to do with the Hasbro Falcon, to bring them up to sort of spec, as it were. But these are the 3 kits that they sent me, and 2 of them are, again, this whole getting out of the comfort zone thing. Volkswagen Samba bus in 1/24th scale, which I think is a newish, quite newish tool. I've had a look at it, and it does look very, very nice. Guido Hop's just taken 2 of these and joined them together to make this huge, long, sort of stretched limo type version of one. But the trick for me with, not that I've built any, but I think the trick is going to be, with kits like this, a civilian vehicle, is to make them so that they don't look like a toy. Like it's like a big plastic thing that you bought out of Toys R Us for your kids or something, to make it look real. And that's all going to be down to getting that scale gloss finish with the paintwork. But so we've got that one. The kit that they want me to start on first, and this is getting back into my comfort zone, and the reason they're saying this is because this is one of their newest kits, is this one, 1/32 scale Focke-Wulf 190 F8. This is 1/32, new tool. Don't know how many parts it's got. I've had a quick look at it. Well, it looks a very, very detailed kit indeed. And it's been a while since I've done Luftwaffe. That was the what do you call it? The Blom and Voss thing was the last one. So it'd be nice to get the RLM colours out again. And butcher birds are always quite colourful as well. But it'd be nice to have that sitting next to the Corsair displays. I mean, I've got the 109, the E4, the Edward E4. In fact, it'd be nice to have that sitting next to the E4, come to think of it, because you get the engine. You can display this with the engine off as well. So that's the one I'll be starting on soon, and I'll do a little inbox sprue tour as well. And the third one that they've sent me, this has been out a year or 2, but I couldn't resist putting it on the list. And Revell have come good, and they sent me it, and it is this. The London Boss. This thing is packed full of plastic. It's amazing. There's so much in it, and again, the trick is going to be to make it look like a real bus. Now, I've seen these done in a variety of different ways. I've seen post-apocalyptic versions, derelict versions, really dirty versions, which public transport doesn't really get dirty. It gets worn, it doesn't get dirty. But I've asked the chap at Revell if he minds that I don't do it in the London transport livery. Being the age I am, I remember these buses on the streets of Dundee when they were owned by Dundee Corporation, and they had a green livery. So I'd quite like to do this in the Dundee colours. Now, I think they did operate a couple of route masters in their fleet. They had a variety of different buses, but I think there were a couple of route masters. There's a transport museum has only recently opened in Dundee, which is imaginatively called the Dundee Transport Museum, and they do have a route master in the livery of a local bus operator, which is actually purple. So I'm going to go down there and do a little bit of research, ask a few questions. I'll mean having to maybe print up different advertising things and obviously different routes and things, but that's fair enough. But I'd quite like to do it in one of the buses that I used to use, a number 17 or a number 22. And also, if any of you are familiar with this type of bus, the way they illuminated the inside wasn't strip lights or neon or fancy or anything like that. It was just screw-in bulbs, a row of screw-in bulbs along each side of the sort of inner arch of the ceiling. So I thought it might be quite good to try and light this with some warm LEDs, warm white LEDs as well. So that would add another aspect to it. But I'll do there's probably inbox reviews of this all over YouTube, so I'll have a look, see if there's a proliferation of them. If there isn't, I'll maybe do an inbox review of this one as well, but I'll tell you, this weighs a ton. Now, also, first world problems, I have another build coming up, one again that I'm very, very looking forward to, and it's going to be a fairly long-term build because there are 750 odd parts in this thing. Again, getting back into the comfort zone. And actually it might work quite well alongside the Focke-Wulf. This has been built for the Kitmaker Network. Again, a big thanks to Jim Starkweather out there in California. Now there's a funny little irony, isn't it? Starkweather, he lives in California. My middle name's Fairweather and I live in Scotland. So it's kind of, anyway. I've had a look at this thing, but I will do a sprue tour of it for you. And I'm actually starting to salivate already. Tamiya's latest, the 1/32 scale de Havilland Mosquito Mach 6. Monster of a kit, absolute. It's ridiculous, the levels of detail. It's great that companies like Tamiya are using their expertise and their technology to create kits like this, because you can, as I've hopefully done with the Corsair, build a nice looking kit right out the box. The jet's from Edinburgh Airport, and I think we have a corridor above us sometimes, so that's what that is. Yeah, I mean, I haven't quite got the concept of slide mold technology in my head yet, but they have used that on some of the parts in here. And there is I've had a brief look and blown away. There will be no need for any aftermarket other than perhaps fabric seat harnesses, because the Tamiya's sheet metal frets are quite heavy and you can't anneal them. So I may go down that route. And if you want to do plumbing on the two Merlin engines that you get, I kind of thought, well, they'll give you one so you can show it open. No, they give you two full Merlin engines. I wonder if I can just unplug the one from the Spitfire. So yeah, we'll be starting on that one fairly soon as well. So it is going to be one hell of a busy end to the year. In fact, between now and next year. Plus anything else. I mean, I've still got that A10. I've been working on the ordnance. As you know, I don't particularly like ordnance. It's one of the reasons that I avoid jets. Oh, and I also have that MiG-29, the Great Wall Hobby MiG-29 to do as well, which we've done the review on anyway. What else? I think that's about it as far as new kits and new starts are concerned. I'll be putting up a video probably this weekend to show you the submersible, the Japanese submersible. That's finished with the diorama, and a little sort of add-on that I've come up with and some advice I want from you guys. But anyway, that's the end of this little update for August, which is all about to come to an end anyway. And we will see you in the next video. Toodle, I'm going to check the mailbox, see if my super fabric harnesses are here. I want an Edward mask for it as well. Toodaloo.